because I was a lot younger, this is 1998. So, had my baseball cap on, had my shades on. Sure, I might have been slightly intoxicated back then for the fireworks. So I'm all ready for this great night. We went to the fireworks. It was awesome. People were everywhere. There were per se shorties or hotties there as well. You know, I wasn't a married man in 1998. So I was having a great day. Oh my God, this is awesome. We're having an awesome time at the fireworks. So we're leaving the fireworks now, coming back home. If anybody's ever been to Chicago, there's a street called Lakeshore Drive that goes right across the lake. Very nice street. It's about 4 lanes on both sides. So it's not a street that you drive 20 miles an hour. More like 45, I think is the speed limit. People usually do 60 on it. So it can be almost like a highway. I point this out because this is going to be very beneficial to the part of the story we're about to talk about, me being a human firecracker. Okay? So we're driving down the road, talking, me in the front seat, driving my car. I had a very nice Malibu box style. Again, this is 1998. I was being a hip-hop guy, had sounds in my trunk, speakers, had rims on this car. This was a nice 1980 Malibu, very well put together. So I'm having a good time here. We're coming from the fireworks. It's about dusk out, maybe because they had them more early, so maybe about 9 o'clock, but it still wasn't too dark outside, so you still could visually see a decent distance. So as I'm driving my car, my best friend, Curtis Creighton, is in the driver's seat. He's just looking at me cheesy, saying hey, because he's happy, okay? We had a great time again. At this point, probably even I myself didn't drink anymore, but they were, because I know I had to drive. So getting a DUI for me, I've been insurance agent a long time, is not good. Okay. So as I'm driving, he's looking here just cheesing. My other friend in the back seat. I'm also a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. So if anybody knows anything about the college fraternity I'm in, the guys are a lot bigger than myself, the majority of them. Okay, so the guy in the front seat was like 6 feet, 200. The guy in the back seat, like the linebacker at college, 6'4", like 250. Okay. So again, I'm describing this because I was a human firecracker. So we're just driving along, still Lakeshore Drive, leaving downtown, and I'm in the lane closest to the median. There's like a pretty nice median about this high that runs between both sides of the street, and about 3 lanes on both sides. Along this median are very, I wouldn't say elaborate, but regular-looking light posts. Okay, about every, let's say 20 yards, there's a light post along this median there. So we're driving in the lane next to the median. There is a parked, I didn't know it was parked, but there's a van as I'm coming up in the lane next to me. So I see the van, and I'm like, well, it's not bothering me. It's not in my lane. I'm just going to drive on by, get home. We're going to have a great time and continue this celebration of the 4th of July. Well, next to me was a station wagon full of a large family of Hispanics. But they were just talking to each other. Again, everybody's having a good time. So everybody's really paying attention to what we're doing, but we're just talking and driving. Everybody was. So I look over at the car next to me and realize they're engrossed in the conversation. Mother and father seated in the front. Seemed like maybe it was a parent of one of the parents in the back, of the grandparent, and about 4 or 5 kids in the back of the station wagon. So they're all piled in. Okay. So when I look over to the people, they kind of look at me like, why are you looking at me? And I look back at them like, there's a van that's not moving. It was actually parked. What had happened was, because it was light, the lights weren't on. So I'm thinking that it's just going slow as I'm coming up on it. I realized it was parked. So I'm looking over to see if they noticed this, because we're driving about 45 miles an hour, 50. We're getting closer to the van. So once we get almost up to the van, I realize that they're not looking. So I'm like, they're probably going to run into this van. Right before it happens, they switch lanes. I'm figuring out a nice size Malibu. Cars were made of steel back then, so it wasn't a little plastic car. I'm figuring I could take a bump, hit the median, and wraggle myself back straight forward. That's not what happened. Okay, hence me saying I started the story like a firecracker. What happened was that they noticed at the last minute they were about to hit the van. They swerved my way. So my friend smiling at me, looking at it, and I have a face of just distress. He's looking at me like, why are you looking distressed? I'm like, because behind your head is a car that's about to bump into us. So the car does hit us. My car, there's a curve on the median about yay high, and the median comes up this far. So again, I have a nice sized car. If I could hit it, wrap on myself, or control myself back into the lane, my car takes off into the air. Like a bottle rocket. Off of the ground, into the air. Now I can flap my wings, but I promise I can't fly. Okay? So, as it's going over the median into oncoming traffic, And this is happening in milliseconds now. I'm telling it in the slow, watching my timer here in time frame, 30, 40 seconds left. But this was milliseconds of time frame. So I see myself going over, now my friend's face turning from a smile to now, oh my God. So we're going over the median in the other side of traffic. Thank be to God for whoever engineer of Chicago said we need to have light posts across these medians. Because what happened was, as I was going over the top, my car bumped into a light post and it flipped my car back onto my side of the highway, but upside down now. So we're going like this and I'm doing like this in the air. Now, the powerful part about this is that people say seatbelt saved lives. In this situation, my seatbelt would have got my head cut off. Because what happened was that bucket seats, as I'm flipping over, I slid to my friend's side. He embraced me. So when the car flipped over and landed on the driver's side, because it flipped over this way. So my side landed first on the ground. Okay? So my side of the roof was smashed all the way down to the steering wheel. The steering wheel's popped off, broken, the axles was back, the speakers on, the car landed upside down. So my speakers, everything from the trunk is on the concrete. The axles, back out was popped off everywhere. So when we land, like the movies think my car's about to blow up. Obviously it didn't. Watch too many movies. Okay? It just crashed. It made a lot of noise. But my friends behind me, some friends behind us were coming. I'm thinking they're going to hit us. And I'm going to finish this for a second time. This is the amazing part to me. Is that once I landed, I heard the shrieking of the cars and the brakes, thinking that I'm paralyzed, minimum paralyzed. I'm thinking, okay. But I'm thinking when they hit me, if I was alive, I was going to be dead once the cars behind me hit me. But nobody hit me. So in seconds, I could feel that I could feel my legs. We were able to push out the back window that's all shattered in glass. We were able to push it out and climb out the back window alive. Okay. Now, the end of the story was so powerful is that the fireman came 30 minutes later. We're standing there. The fireman walks up and he says, who was driving this car? I'm like, sir, I was. He was like, no. Who was driving the car? I'm like, sir, I was. He asked again, no. Who was driving the car? I'm like, sir, I was. He instantly invoked tears in himself. Literally started tearing up. He said, sir, I've been doing this for at least 10 years at this point. I've never seen a person with a car look like this not be taken away in an ambulance. And I will tell you that day, my friend and my very large friend that were with me, none of us had a broken ankle, a scratch on us, a Band-Aid, alcohol needed, nothing from 1998 to now, no therapy needed. So all of this is saying that human firecrackers, whether they believe in God or not, they should, because it's necessary. Thank you.